My name's Adam Monaco and I'm the financial controller for Hi-Tech Oils. With our national capacity, we can now service Australian companies nationwide. Of late, we have now expanded into the New Zealand market. Here at Hi-Tech Oils, we receive premium base oils and premium additive packs. Together, with our highly trained staff, we manufacture over 500 premium quality products. Hi-Tech Oils is Australian made and Australian owned.
Hello and welcome to the 30th anniversary of the Andros Trophy. The opening round at beautiful Val Thorens at 2,300 metres. It's Europe's highest ski resort and the conditions are absolutely stunning. Lots of snow and on the track hard-packed ice after a week of hard overnight frosts. The calendar for the 30th anniversary season will see lots of familiar names. We kick off here in Val Thorens and there's a second race before Christmas, high in Andorra. Into January and it all comes in a rush. Isola 2000, Serre Chevalier, Lens-en-Vaucourt. And then we head to Superbès as we rush towards the season finale in the Stade de France in Paris. Coming up in the show, we'll bring you the super final from the elite category. Trophy Andros isn't just about internal combustion engines. We'll bring you the final from the electric category. And to round out the show, the stars and the cars from the Elite Pro class as we take in all the action from the final. Every birthday deserves a family portrait, and the Trophy Andros, celebrating 30 years now, gets exactly that. It's the largest ice racing series in the world, tours around the French mountain ranges and finishes with a high voltage finale at the Stade de France in Paris, where France won the World Cup. And with both internal combustion and electric engine racing series, this is looking to the future as well as the past, and looking to the skies as well. A winter series and very wintry conditions in Val Thorens. Unfortunately, heavy snow means day 2 of racing had to be cancelled. Tough time for everybody, and there's never a day when, as a commentator, I wish I was a cameraman. Here's another of those reasons why. The TV crew really fight hard for their pictures in conditions like these. Well done, boys and girls. Let's take a look at the grid for the super final in the elite class. Pole position is held by Lionel Daziano in the Audi A1 Quattro, Emmanuel alongside him in the Renault Captur, Dorian Boccolacci's BMW, Sylvain Poussier on row 2 of the grid ahead of Margot Lafitte, the only woman in the field in her Mazda 3, and Luc Gervasson in his Audi A1 Quattro. They're on row 3 of our 9-car grid. Great start from the poleman. Lionel Daziano leads them down to the first corner. It's a long sweeping left into a right-hander that tightens up on the exit, and this is exactly the style you expect to see from Trophy Andros. 4-wheel drive, 4-wheel steer these cars. Lots of sideways action, for which the series become rightly famous. And a mistake by the poleman, in too deep, carried too much speed into the left-hand hairpin, and 1L alongside him makes a little nudge. The Audi tries to fight back, gets his nose nose back in front. Daziano ahead of the Renault Captur, all arms and elbows behind, but it's all about the two men from the front row. Now, can the Audi driver get it all under control? Long back straight, along to the long 180-degree final corner. Lots of packed snow and really firm ice underneath for the studs to dig into. The racing tyres with 250 metal studs to give them a bit of grip. On board with Daziano. And the driver's often seeing as much through the side window of the car as they do. This is all about momentum. Sliding anywhere is about not giving away speed, and again he's in too deep, but keeps the power on. Now 3 wide behind, all really starting to kick off. Contact in the battle for second place, getting nudged out wide. Sylvain Poussier in the number 2 Peugeot. That's Dorian Boccolacci in the BMW M2, still alongside him. And the leaders battling nose to tail. 1L still can't find a way past Daziano. There is Poussier up to 3rd. Boccolacci in 4th position. Louis Gervasson has come from 6th to 5th place ahead of Margot Lafitte in the Mazda 3, and a change for the lead. 1L has sneaked through. Daziano in 2nd in the Audi. Poussier under real pressure again for 3rd from Boccolacci, who squeezed back in front. Yes, Boccolacci in 3rd. There he is, the BMW back in front. Poussier with a much tighter line now on the inside. Look, just gets his nose back in front of Boccolacci into the ice wall on the exit. Well, he's damaged the nose of the number 7 BMW, and on the inside, through comes number 3, Louis Gervasson, son of one of the founders of the Andros company who started Trophy Andros, but Manuel 1L is way out front of Lionel Daziano now as they start to throw up the ice. 4th place for Dorian Boccolacci, still under pressure from Louis Gervasson. Gervasson number 3, Audi Quattro, leaning on him hard. Teammate Lionel Daziano is in 2nd place, both run by Come To You Racing. Come To You run Audis in the World TCR Championship. They have run them in GTs as well, and they know what they're doing with an Audi. Oh, and a complete mistake by Dorian Boccolacci. He goes straight off, and it looks as though there might have been a breakage on the car. Boccolacci in the ice wall and making no further progress behind. Joel Lopez ahead of Margot Lafitte, so he's moved up the order. Here's 1L, our leader. The Renault Captur has been pretty impressive over the last 2 or 3 seasons and continues to be so. And there, I'm afraid, is the end of the road for Dorian Boccolacci in his BMW M2. So Daziano in 2nd. Poussier in 3rd for the Peugeot. Louis Gervasson in 4th position. Then Joel Lopez in his BMW ahead of Margot Lafitte. Stefan Vantaya is in 7th place, and Philippe Bonsard in the 2nd of the Mazda 3s, making up the tail of the field. So in the middle part of the race, it started to settle down a little bit, then all got very uncomfortable further back. There's Margot Lafitte trying to find a bit of extra traction. Daughter of former Grand Prix ace Jacques Lafitte. And 1 to go this time round. There's the sign that Emmanuel Marnell is on his way to victory, surely. Decent margin over Lionel Daziano. This will be a great way to start the season in the Renault Captur. DA Racing's Emmanuel 1L out front. And Lionel Daziano held him off for a couple of laps at the beginning. But the Renault, looking by far the most balanced car, goes out very wide there, using the snow to give him a bit of extra traction. Battle for 3rd. And in the number 3 car, Louis Gervasson, with the green highlights, has not given up hope of a podium, has he? Our leader in the last corner of the last lap, sweeping around the big right-hander, heading towards the checkered flag. Emmanuel 1L will win it here. 2nd place, Lionel Daziano, and the race for the line is won by Louis Gervasson, car number 3. Gervasson dips in front of Sylvain Poussier. So victory for the Renault, Audi in 2nd and 3rd, and Poussier in the Peugeot 3008 in 4th. Lopez BMW 5th, Lafitte in 6th, Vantaya in his Peugeot in 7th place. Well, disappointment and disaster for Dorian Boccolacci in the BMW, but Emmanuel 1L from the outside of the front row wins the season opening superfinal in Val Thorens. FDA Racing Team look happy enough with that, and so they should be. Qualified well, raced well, and from second on the grid in the super final wins the elite class. Longer season this year than it has been for a few years. There'll be 9 race weekends. So to start them with a victory means everyone is chasing him from day one. Fantastic stuff. Confirmation of the result then of the super final, race 1 for the elite class, and 1L and the Renault Captur taking victory. Daciano's Audi with teammate Gervasson behind in third, completing the podium. Poussier, the first of the Peugeots. Lopez, the only BMW that made it to the finish. Ditto for Margot Lafitte, the only Mazda to make it through, ahead of Stefan Van Tyer in the second of the Peugeots. Philippe Bonsard and Dorian Boccolacci failing to make it through, and of course the championship reflecting not just the points they scored in the heats but also the points they scored in the finals. And so it is Daciano still, despite not winning that first final, who has a slender 2-point lead over arch rival Moinel. And the top 3 are joined on the podium by the top lady racer Margot Lafitte. So our first podium of the season complete after a fine evening in which to do their racing. Christophe Ferrier is the man on pole position for the final in the electric category. Alongside him, Vincent Beltoise, Louis Rosset and Louis Gervasson on row 2 of the grid. Single-seater race. Frank Montagny with Sacha Prost on row 3, ahead of Clementine Lost, Guillaume Play and Tom Villard in this 9-car field. And yes, Sacha Prost, brother of Nico Prost, a 3-time electric racing champion in Trophy Andros, and of course son of 3-time Formula 1 world champion Alain Prost. Away we go from the start then, and Christophe Ferrier from pole position, making the most of what little traction he's got from these 2-wheel drive all-electric racers. Leads from number 2, Vincent Beltoise, behind number 10, the green and white, Louis Rosset. Vincent Beltoise is the nephew of legendary Formula 1 Frenchman Jean-Pierre Beltoise, so lots of racing heritage here. Little nudge from Louis Gervasson, the ALD Automotive supported driver, into Louis Rosset in their battle for third. Rosset holds on, and through comes the number 5 car. Gervasson inside him though, Franck Montagny, the bright green livery of the Andros supported car. And these cars not manufacturer based as yet, but they are supported by a whole host of companies who are involved in either electric powertrains, or in some case, like Louis Rosset, Petit Forestier. It's a company in France that delivers food in chilled refrigeration trucks. That's their speciality. Sacha Prost, supported by the company that he runs with his sister-in-law, Nico's wife, HJ's. It's a clothing company for men with a racing bent, as you might imagine. And Prost in 6th position. Brother Nico won the first 3 seasons of electric racing. And there's a little bit of wheel-to-wheel action for Montagny in the all-green Andros car, just holding his line on the inside. Right behind him, giving him a little bit of a bump though, the number 5 car, Louis Gervasson. ALD Automotive sponsoring his car as they battle just off the podium. Well, with 2-wheel drive, these cars have a lot more studs in their tyres, 450 short metal studs around an inch and a half long to try and give them some grip. But with no front-wheel drive, it's 2-wheel drive, 2-wheel steer, so much more traditional sort of car as you might expect to find, although of course you can see clearly these are all rear-wheel drive. So Christophe Ferrier clearing off from pole, Beltoise in 2nd, and still the battle for 4th continues. Franck Montagny with a wide line and a slow exit, leaving himself open to attack, but he's now starting to creep up towards the battle in front of him. And there's the number 10 machine of Louis Rosset, Montagny right behind the Petit Forestier machine, and just starting to creep away in front, Vincent Beltoise. STEF, who sponsor him, are a French electrical power company. So there's the number 2 machine. And there's the battle for third. 10, Louis Rosset just ahead of Franck Montagny in the number 3 machine. And these all identical machines. You can see the body is the same, the running gear is the same, and the idea is to try and give a boost to the electric racing scene. Trophy Andros is a huge TV draw across France and the Alpine regions. And here in Val Thorens, what a spectacle it makes. Just look at the conditions, absolutely picture perfect. Can hardly believe the second day was snowed off. It was so awful. And this is just what you come to expect. Still clinging on, Vincent Beltoise in second, ahead of Louis Rosset, Franck Montagny, but it's all getting very close. And here is Sacha Prost with Clémentine Lost slipping up the inside in the Loxam machine. So she grabs 6th position, but the battle rages on. Well, he's raced for several years now in Trophy Andros, but a mistake there, under braking, nudges Clémentine Lost, and she gets spun around. Meanwhile, the leader, Christophe Ferrier, is easing away. Now 5 seconds clear, Vincent Beltoise. But Beltoise has got plenty of company. And in fact, he's coming up behind Tom Villa, who is at the tail of the field. There's Beltoise in second. And he's under pressure, isn't he? Still from Louis Rosset. And right behind, Franck Montagny in the green car, just about holding off Louis Gervasson. Mistake there in 5th position from Guillaume Play, and that's going to drop him into the hands of Sacha Prost potentially. But the leader on lap 5 of 6, and Christophe Ferrier in a little class all of his own. Next time round, the checkered flag will be out. 1 to go. White flag they would show, except in the white conditions it would be pretty hard to spot. Vincent Beltoise still in second place, a couple of car lengths now ahead of Louis Rosset. Rosset starting to creep away as well from the battle for 4th, Franck Montagny, and that's classic two-wheel drive action as we used to see right at the beginning of Trophy Andros. The first champion drove a Peugeot 205 T16 rally car, but then we used to get a few two-wheel drive cars. Denis Snowberg won 2 years in a row, and Mercedes 190E. Second place, still Vincent Beltoise. Louis Rosset right with him. Franck Montagny, the all-green car, in 4th. But down the long back straight and around the final corner comes our leader and our soon-to-be race winner, Christophe Ferrier, making it look very straightforward. If you were sat in the passenger seat, it would feel anything but very quick indeed. Christophe Ferrier, the winner. And in second place, Vincent Beltoise. Third, Louis Rosset. 4th, Franck Montagny. In 5th place, Louis Gervasson. But there is our winner, no doubting that. Christophe Ferrier made the most of his advantage of pole position and ran away into the distance. And Sacha Prost finishing in 6th position after that contact with Clémentine Lost. And that put her out of contention for a top half dozen. She finished behind Guillaume Play. Christophe Ferrier celebrates the first win of the season, his 23rd in Trophy Andros racing, a 4-time electric trophy champion, and he's another step closer to a 25th win, and who knows, perhaps even a 5th electric trophy title. So Christophe Ferrier then grabs 12 points for victory ahead of Vincent Beltoise. Louis Rosset in 3rd position. Franck Montagny close to the podium, couldn't quite get there, but he finished in 4th ahead of Louis Gervasson. And in 6th position in the end was Guillaume Play, who started in 8th on the grid. Clémentine Lost and Villa. And then unfortunately for Sacha Prost, he suffered a time penalty, and that dropped him down to the tail of the field. But you punt people out of the race, that's what tends to happen. So that was a very different look and sound with the electric race. And after the first day of action here in Val Thorens, Ferrier with the best qualifying result and pole position and the fastest lap and the win ends up with 37 points ahead of Vincent Beltoise in 2nd, 3 points behind him Louis Rosset, and tied Louis Gervasson and Franck Montagny. But it is Ferrier, Beltoise and Rosset who are on the podium, and they are joined by our top lady driver Clémentine Lost. Back in 2011 at the Stade de France finale for Trophy Andros, former Grand Prix drivers Olivier Panis and three-time champion Alain Prost were both racing, and their sons will be racing there this year. Yes, both of Alain Prost's sons. Such as saying, we'll see you in the Stade de France on the 9th of February. We'll come as a family. Yeah, we'll both be there. And Alain, you're coming too, right? Heading into the first Super Pole of the season, there's Olivier Panis suiting up. He and son Aurélien both competing here this weekend. Now this year, as we see Sacha Prost getting into his car, there will be 7 drivers going for the Super Pole competition compared to 5 last year, and that's going to make a points difference. The 7th gets 1 point. The fastest not only gets pole, but gets 7 points. So there's a bigger boost for pole position for the Elite Pro class than there was last season. And with an extra race weekend, even more chance to earn those points. So here we go into the Elite Pro class. First on the ice, Olivier Panis with his 360 horsepower Audi A1 Quattro. Olivier Panis still the last Frenchman to have won a Grand Prix in Formula One, when he won in Monaco for Guy Ligier's team, indeed the last French team to win in Formula One as well. Well, he's first on the ice, and it's one quick lap, but that is a great view through the windscreen. It looks like he's completely overcooked it, but no, the corner and then the straight come into sight. Olivier Panis knows what he's doing. See the sparks flying as the studs dig through the ice to the underlying tarmac. Panis fourth after 2 qualifying heats, and a single best of a 47.166. Panis heading across the line. And the time that everybody is going to be looking to beat, 47.771. There's son Aurélien. Well, not bad for an old man. I'm sure there's an awful lot of that. Luckily, in his other day job, Aurélien only has his father by his side as opposed to actually trying to beat him. So that's the way it works. Get yourself up to speed, get the lap done, and try and make it as clean and as fast as possible. Take a look on board. You see what I mean? If you're in the passenger seat, you're looking out the side window to see where on earth this idiot is going next. Well, the idiot knows exactly where he's going next. It's all about flow and momentum, get the car drifting, and then get the throttle down, exactly as on tarmac. So as Olivier Panis heads back down to the pit lane, next up is the Peugeot 3008, and this is Benjamin Rivière. 3008, the baby of the Peugeot SUV family. And you can see, in fact, that not only has it got windscreen wipers on the front, take a look at the passenger window. It's got a windscreen wiper there as well, because the ice crystals, and on the driver's side window, ice crystals get everywhere. And if the window is covered in ice and you can't see out, then you can't see out. Rivière has been championship runner-up in the Andros Trophy a number of times, definitely looking to try and go one better this season to the top step of the podium. Won in Val Thorens last year. Now, because he was second overall in last year's championship battle, he's carrying 40 kilos. Well, the system gives 60, 40 or 20 kilos to the top 3 in the previous event, or the top 3 overall last year for the opening event. And at the split, he is up on Panis by 0.07 of a second, 700ths of a second. So, provisional Super Pole leader. And again, this is not just about style and skids like it would be perhaps in a drift competition. They're getting very sideways, but it's all about momentum, keeping the speed up. Just like a rally driver or a motocrosser or any sort of circuit racer, use the brakes to start the car turning and then get on the gas the moment you can. The less time you spend braking, the more time you spend under power, then the quicker you will be. So the Peugeot moves into the lead. Benjamin Rivière ahead And next up will be our multiple champion. This is Jean-Baptiste Dubourg, his Renault Captur, another of the internal combustion engine cars. He's a triple champion in Trophy Andros, sixth after the first two qualifying heats. Heats are over 3 laps, and his best time there, 2 minutes 21.0, single fastest lap, was a 46.935. But he's carrying that 60 kilos extra as last year's champion. Now, of course, if that hinders him this weekend and he drops out of the top 3 at the end of the weekend, then he'll shed some of the weight and somebody else will have it. It's all about checks and balances. Up on the split by 36 hundredths of a second. That's a big advantage. Renault Captur is a finely tuned machine, and he really knows how to get the best from it. Checkered flag is out. He's got to be in front, and he is. And what a huge margin as well, nearly 3/4 of a second clear. And that's an impressive run indeed from our reigning champion, despite the extra weight, Jean-Baptiste Dubourg in the Renault Captur. Oh, look, you can see why, can't you? Inches away, millimetres away from the very solid ice. Don't think that the internal walls are just nice, soft, powdery snow. No, they've been bulldozed into place. They're pretty firm ice walls. So the Trophy Andros triple champion is the man who is fastest so far. He leaves the target for everybody else to beat. The bar has definitely been raised. Well, all 3 we've seen so far have been internal combustion engines. And listen, no, we haven't just turned the sound down. That's because this electric car of Nico Prost, the next one that is on the line, is not making any noise at all. Now, Nico Prost, of course, is used to that, racing in the all-electric Formula E Championship. And you can see a little volt on the rear window to tell the crowd, if they need to, that one of the cars coming past them is electric. So from a standing start, they take the flying start at the tricolore, the French flag. And it must be quite disorientating initially not to have the noise of the engine. Sure, the engine does make a noise, but with the scrabbling of the studs on the ice, then the electric engine and transmission noise is very much muted, particularly with earplugs and a helmet in, compared to being a normal internal combustion engine. The 3-litre engines they use in the Elite and Elite Pro class really howl away in front of the driver. So Nico, certainly well used to racing these electric cars, won the first 3 electric championships in Trophy Andros. And as he comes across the line, 1.2 seconds back. Now, was it the car? Was it the lap? We'll have to wait and see how it transpires in the racing itself. You can see 4-wheel drive, 4-wheel steer, see the rear wheels turning there to make the turning circle tighter, makes the cars more nimble, allows the drivers to get more out of them on these tricky ice surfaces. So Prost, 5th fastest after the qualifying heats, or 5th in the points after the qualifying heats. Well, first 2 years he won in the electric cars, they were 2-wheel drive, now they're 4-wheel drive, and in the Elite Pro class, we're not separating electric and internal combustion engine cars, they all go in together. Now, it remains to be seen how the internal combustion engine cars and the electric engine cars, because of the different torque characteristics, affect their tyres, their studs and everything else, but that will happen over the course of the season. So 1 electric car down. Next up is Aurélien Panis. Panis won the 2-wheel drive electric trophy last season. He's been racing in World Touring Cars and World TCR, as well as in GT racing over the last 2 or 3 years. Panis, first after 2 qualifying heats, with a single best lap, 46.062 seconds. Now, that was the outright fastest lap of all. So let's see if his electric racer can replicate that. Now, of course, racing in competition and one single hot lap with no mistakes are entirely different things, but he is 1100s up already. And if he can keep the momentum going and avoid errors as he comes to the checkered flag, he's out the final corner, neat and tidy, right down the middle of the chute. And that has got to be the fastest lap, and it is by 0.2 of a second. So Aurélien Panis, the fastest man. 46.7 to the 48.2 of Nico Prost, 1.5 seconds or so clear of his fellow electric racer. That's an impressive performance from young Aurélien Panis. And in fact, he left his dad down in 4th position, trailing in his wake by a full second, although I'm sure he won't mention it at all. His time, 46.7, is still 0.7 of a second slower than he managed in the qualifying heats. Maybe that pressure of having somebody chasing you makes the difference, but it was a neat lap. Perhaps he left a little on the table. We'll have to wait and see what the others have got, but right now Aurélien Panis is shaping up as a man to beat. In a little deep there, he was very crossed up under braking. Maybe he'll regard that as an opportunity to make up some time lost. Next up is another electric race, another great single-seater exponent. This is Frank Lagorce in his Andros Sport Machine, run by Cathy Muller's Hexagon engineering team. Best 3-lap race, 2 minutes 19.5. Single best lap, 46.25. So with the mark standing at 46.7, we know he's got the pace to beat it, but then so too did Aurélien Panis. So through the first corner, now through the tight and twisty section. Was that a little deep in? Maybe not. All about keeping up that momentum. Sweeping around the long right-hand hairpin. And this leads out onto the long curving back straight. Absolutely critical. Get the exit there nailed and keep your speed up. Don't lift, don't waver. Ooh, 5800s back. He's not going to find that in the final corner, but where will he end up? In second, in third, maybe in fourth, maybe. Frank Lagorce, come on, my friend. What's he got? Across the line. And it's 47 for third, fastest for Lagorce. And only one car still to go, so guaranteed a second row start, but Aurélien Panis, still the man with the fast time that they all have to try and match. Well, they all have, pretty much. Or at least Lagorce has, the others weren't there in the first place. And take a look here. Again, getting the nose to bite. Under braking, load up that front wheel, the outside wheel, doing all the digging in, and then get that four-wheel drive traction system really working to fire you off the corner. All about keeping the right foot buried and dabs on the brakes with the left to try and balance the car through the corners. One to go then in our Super Pole, and it's Olivier Pernot in his, as you can hear, normal internal combustion engined Mazda 3. Already light snow starting to fall as he begins his lap. Now that's not going to be an issue as it might be if they were on tarmac, because of course they're on the frozen surface anyway. So as long as he can see, and clearly it looks like he can. Through the first left-hand hairpin, looking neat and tidy so far. Again, you can see the sparks flying as the studs dig through the ice all the way down to the tar underneath. 15 thousandths of a second up. Well, that's a tiny, tiny margin. Just a slightest miscalculation will give that away. But at the moment, Olivier Pernot on the way. And across the line, is he in front? He is not, 11 hundredths of a second behind. So Olivier Pernot in the Mazda 3 will start second. And Aurélien Panis wins the 7 points for Super Pole. Well, you saw the Sansalok Racing team briefly looking disappointed for Pernot, but in fact they're delighted because they've got a 1-2 running both Aurélien Panis and Pernot. So great result for them. And for Panis, came out on top of the qualifying heats, so he got most points plus 7 for Super Pole. Well, again, take a look here at the Mazda 3. See how little of the road car actually remains under the body shell, or exists under the body shell. It's really a silhouette with a purpose-built tube frame racer underneath, four-wheel drive, four-wheel steer, not part of the normal Mazda 3 machinery. Let's take a look at the grid then for the super final for the Elite Pro class. It's Aurélien Panis on pole position in the all-electric Plastic Cup run by Santalok Racing, and a Santalok 1-2 Olivier Pernot alongside him in the Mazda 3. Row 2 of the grid, another electric car run by Hexagon Engineering by Cathy Muller, the sister of Yvan Muller, the 10-time champion. Franck Lagorce in the Andros Sport. Alongside him, the champion this year, Jean-Baptiste Dubourg, with the Renault Captur, the 3-time title winner. Olivier Panis starts 5th, Come To You Audi, ahead of Benjamin Rivière in a Poussey Automobile Peugeot 3008, and another electric car in 7th place, Nico Prost in his Motul machine, again run by Hexagon Engineering, and Nat Berton in his Come To You Audi, which I've been saying all year long, in the WTCR World Series. Green lights are on and away we go, but no overtaking before the first corner. That's why we've got these vigorously waved yellow flags. So it is Aurélien Panis, the poleman, who leads. Everybody else falls into line astern. Olivier Pernot in second, green car Franck Lagorce in third, the blue car with the number 1 plate, that's Jean-Baptiste Dubourg in 4th place. And Aurélien Panis sweeps out wide, contact as Lagorce gets up the inside of Pernot. Can't get through for second place though. The first of 6 laps definitely underway for our main contenders. There's Olivier Panis, red and grey Audi in 5th position, ahead of Benjamin Rivière. And here we are with Olivier Panis sitting nice and low in the car. And you can see why they need the wipers on. Ice crystals everywhere. Now as he flies into the corner, right in front of him, Jean-Baptiste Dubourg, and you think you're going to hit him, but Dubourg's car gets the traction, picks up and spears away just in time. With Panis, the leader is Pernot, then Lagorce in third, under real pressure from Dubourg, the 3-time champion in the number 1 machine. And again, Lagorce flicking the car sideways early to try and get the power on, but he's drifting out wide. Dubourg alongside. There's a bit of bumping and boring. Lagorce has got to hold his nerve onto the inside of the next hairpin, but he drifts out wide, and here comes Olivier Panis up the inside. He might get both places. He's going to ease out wide to stop Dubourg getting by. Panis went up from 5th to 3rd place there. Really an opportune move by the ex-Grand Prix driver. There is Olivier Panis. Dubourg still in 4th place, and Lagorce down to 5th, and Panis very wide there, kicking up shards of ice crystals. Aurélien Panis, the leader, Olivier Pernot in 2nd, and Olivier Panis in 3rd position. Could we get a father and son 1-2, or son and father? Dubourg, big mistake! Nose hooks up on the inside, through goes Lagorce for 4th, through goes Rivière for 5th, through goes Nico Prost. Oh dear, massive mistake by the champion, just giving away points, and Prost out very wide as well in his electric Motul racer. He gets hooked up again. Now here is the battle, and is that Lagorce? Yes it is, just ahead of Benjamin Rivière. Rivière, the Poussey Automobiles Peugeot 3008. And the number 8 car of Olivier Panis chasing our leaders. Yellow flag still out at the first corner. That's for Debris. They've managed to get Jean-Baptiste Dubourg going at the hairpin. At that tight first corner. There's a bit of his car still in the road. And somebody's going to have to jump in and pick that up, I think. The marshals will get a clean gap now. Green car, Franck Lagorce, under pressure, drifts out wide. Big mistake, through goes Benjamin Riviere. Well taken opportunity for Riviere in the Peugeot. Made that look very straightforward, and Lagorce is nobody's fool now, as Franck Lagorce got a problem with the car. He's been caught rapidly by Nico Prost from behind. The two of the three electric cars battling wheel to wheel. There's the number 2 car, Benjamin Riviere, easing away. So Aurélien Panis leading by 1.6 from Olivier Pernot, and Pernot 2.3 ahead of Olivier Panis. Looks like Panis in third, not yet able to close the gap, but Prost is definitely desperate to get by Lagorce. Lap 5, there's Aurélien Panis, the yellow car, and here comes Olivier up the inside, number 2. Oh, very close indeed. But Olivier Panis is really fighting for this second place, on board with his young son. Early 20s Aurélien Panis, he had a junior single-seater career, and that was always intended to then lead him on to, well, in the end it was touring cars rather than GTs initially. He is making his home racing with a roof over his head. Panis, Pernot, Panis. And still Olivier Panis pushes on the last lap. Can he make it onto the second step of the podium? On his own, Benjamin Riviere in 4th position. Unless there's a bit of a Panis disaster, he won't make it onto the podium. Very close for second. Olivier Panis inside Pernot. Olivier Pernot holding on. The drag race to the line. Oh, Pernot shuts the door down the back straight. Olivier Panis is going to have to do something extra special in the final corner. Tags the nose into the snowbank. It was all or nothing. He will still finish third. Aurélien Panis wins it. Olivier Pernot holds off Grand Prix winner Olivier Panis, who takes the final podium spot in third. Breathless stuff. Benjamin Riviere in 4th. And who wins the battle of the other electric cars? Well, Jean-Baptiste Dubourg, what a disaster. Another meeting with an ice bank. But success for Aurélien Panis, the man who came out on top in qualifying, hauled away the bumper points in Superpole. Now, what happens here, Dubourg? Normally, you don't see a driver of his caliber making the same mistake twice. I guessed something would have broken on the car. Well, there is celebration for Olivier Panis on the podium. Happy with that. And Aurélien Panis, electric power, winning the final in Elite Pro. Fantastic stuff. And for Jean-Baptiste Dubourg, the season surely can only get better. Aye, 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 aye. Well, no doubting the happiest man there. Well, I don't know. Toss-up, father or son. Olivier Panis or Aurélien. This will be quite an entertaining podium for the two of them. And Jean-Baptiste Dubourg left to do nothing but congratulate those who came out on top. Well, a great start to the season, no doubt, for Aurélien Panis, hoovering up the points all the way through the first day here in Val Thorens. And Olivier, well, he had a good battle, didn't he? With Benjamin Riviere, with Olivier Pernot. Never quite got to his son, but it don't matter. So Sansalok Racing with a 1-2 for Aurélien Panis and Olivier Pernot. And Come To You Racing's Olivier Panis completes the podium. Good start to the season for both of the Sansalok drivers. And there's a happy dad and a happy son too. Aurélien Panis then winning the superfinal for the Elite Pro class ahead of Olivier Pernot and Olivier Panis. Riviere, Prost and Lagorce completing the top half dozen. That Berton having even more disastrous a race than Jean-Baptiste Dubourg, finishing 7th in the Renault and 8th Berton in the Audi A1. And Panis is the points leader as well, courtesy of a fantastic haul in Superpole and in the qualifying runs. Fastest race lap, everything. A full hatful, 69 points. Olivier Panis second on 61. Franck Lagorce in third, just 2 slender points ahead of Olivier Panis. And the reigning champion, Jean-Baptiste Dubourg, 5th place after the first race. Who would have thought? So here is our overall top 3 in points. This is not the superfinal podium. Franck Lagorce third in the points. Olivier Panis in 2nd spot. And there is our points leader, looking rather bashful, Aurélien Panis. So congratulations to him on a fine weekend. And Sansalot Racing's drivers 1-2 in the points. Franck Lagorce with his Andros Sport car run by Executive Engineering is third in the standings as they leave Val Thorens from the highest resort in the Alps. They head next to the Pyrenees, to Andorra for round 2 of Trophy Andros just before Christmas. And we'll wait and see exactly what luck or otherwise that brings our current top 3 in the standings. But for now, they are the ones that everyone is chasing. Looking forward to Stade de France this year. Jean-Baptiste saying that his favourite memory remains finishing second in the final with Romain Grosjean with the destroyed wheel and a puncture. Hopefully this time we'll have 4 wheels and the top step. What I hope for, says Olivier Panis, is actually to drive. A few years ago, I didn't do a lap. My dad broke the car in the first corner. Hopefully Margot Lafitte and I will have a better time of it this time. And that is it from the season opener in this 30th anniversary year of Trophy Andros. Okay, so they only had half the action due to unbelievable weather conditions, but when they were racing, it was stunning. We'll leave you with these final images, and we'll see you next time out for round 2 in Andorra. Until then,